I recently just got a memo off of YugiTube Twitter here, but evidently Yu-Gi-Oh! Is expensive and we can't afford certain cards, so that hinders our ability to play the game. Don't be like the 33.8% of you guys who have not smashed the crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so we can get to 102,000. So YugiTube Twitter yesterday blew up in a rage of discussing card prices, especially around a card like Forbidden Droplet. Now, I want to say, full disclaimer here, Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards are going to cost money, all right? I just want to put that out there. There is variance and tiers between good cards and trash cards. That's just how the secondary market works, ladies and gentlemen. So for this video, I'm going to discuss economics again, because that's my favorite thing to do on this channel. So I actually read a good tweet from Z Butler. I'm just going to say the same hot take here as before. Dropping money on certain cards will not magically make you better at the game. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, that's the damn truth, all right? I understand that having access to these cards so you can practice. Dueling Book! You know, Master Duel, you can craft them. You can people make multiple free accounts to try different things. All right? It's not that unheard of, all right? There's that. And then the game on a competitive level is expensive. That's absolutely the truth. But to cite that as the reason why more players aren't successful is disingenuous. So I do want to back up through this. So Yu-Gi-Oh! On a competitive level, to have access to effectively every single card IRL to play, yeah, that's going to be expensive. You can't expect to have everything handed to you for free. Duelingbook.com. All right, Edo Pro, you have all of these tools to play test these decks and see what cards you need to get. So you have the tools to narrow down your vision here. Now, understand that Yu-Gi-Oh! As a game will go through shifts in the metagame, all right? We just came out of a format where Forbidden Droplet really wasn't that good, all right? You want me to be honest with you? Droplets were sitting at $85 to $90 for quite some time. But, like everything else, nothing lasts forever, ladies and gentlemen. So when you see shifts in the metagame to something like the current era that we're in right now, where Droplet lets you break one of these most critical boards that we've seen in a very long time, but that doesn't mean that you need Droplet to play the game right now. And I want to be massively honest with that point here, because I'm no stranger to like gathering data here and looking at different deck lists here. All right, so I'm sorry that you can't get Droplets to play the one deck that you want to play. That's just, you're going to have to compensate for that. That's just the harsh reality of how the world works. All right, that's fine. You can't get Droplets, okay. I'm looking at Cyberse Eldritch this format, all right? The fact that you can also produce a deck, like, you don't need to play Droplet in that deck whatsoever, all right? It doesn't matter that you don't have access to something like that. Well, you also can't afford Pot of Prosperities. You know, we go down the budget list here, all right? There are alternatives, maybe not so much to Droplet. I want to be upfront about that, because it looks like most of this argument kind of spun around Forbidden Droplet itself, and the availability of that card being a hindrance for said player to not have the chance to perform better. That is not true in any sort of capacity, as I said previously in this video here. I've seen enough players throughout the years, even now, that have found alternatives, or, you know, maybe they take a step back for a format. Yeah, it sucks if you got to take a step back for a format because you can't afford tech cards. I get it, all right? Honestly, I'm taking a step back from this format because I don't genuinely enjoy Scythelock, but that doesn't mean that I'm not playing this format. It just means I'm not playing super hard competitively IRL. I had one guy comment the other day, he was like, well, you said that you were taking a step back from this format. All right, well, taking a step back means I'm not going to go to every single locals and play. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to sit here and do some play testing on some of the new themes here, get the chance to play against some of these ideas. You definitely misinterpret what I said here. By taking a step back, it's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna go get Scythelocked every 3 seconds, because, you know, how fun that sounds. But there are other things moving around in this format right now. Okay, so another example here. So you can't get Droplets. Okay, well, we got Flundereese over here. You know what? You can't afford Prosperities? That's fine. You got budget alternatives. All right, you can build Flunderies on a good day for like $150. I get that that's also not that entertaining, but you don't need journeys. All right, you can get the base of the deck with some dualities and, extras to substitute. You can probably find 15 cards in a pile of commons somewhere to build an extra deck. You can get a 3-1 win at locals with Flunder. There are alternatives, ladies and gentlemen. They exist. All right? I'm just saying at this point in time that, so you want to build something like Tri-Brigade, and you need those droplets. Maybe you should take a step back from Tri-Brigade for the format, or maybe put yourself in a better situation, maybe less competitively. I'm not really too sure on what else to really say about that. But on the high end of this game, having resources available to you to be able to play IRL events will always cost money. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. All right, having an entire card pool at your disposal, versus one deck, it's always going to cost money, ladies and gentlemen. We're not stupid. All right, cases cost money. Remember, it's always the secondary markets that sets the precedence on the cards versus the value of the cards. Everybody seems to still blame Konami out here and go, no, it's Konami's fault, you fat stupid piece of shit. No, Konami printed it as a secret rare. Well, yeah, Konami printed as a secret rare, but Konami didn't say to make the card $150. All right, that's your secondary player base in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. All right, gotta be honest with you here. And the other thing that I also hate to be this guy to say this, but this is another harsh reality of the situation, and this is always, people hate hearing this, but just because you can't afford a set of cards that they're worth $100. All right, and I'm sorry, I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but it's not going to stop another 30 people from being able to afford those cards at that price point. All right, and that's what actually affects a majority of this market. If people, it's basic economics 101. I mean, if you can't afford it, somebody else will. It's just, that's the sad reality of the situation that we live in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to society, all right? Yu-Gi-Oh! The market really is all about affordability versus availability, all right? Cards start disappearing, price goes up, and unfortunately, as commerce out here, if you yourself can't afford it, there will always be somebody else out here to snatch it up and have it be more readily available. So, at this point in time, I'm going to say this, all right? Yu-Gi-Oh's expensive. You don't need to play Droplet to be fine. It just means that you're going to lose a whole lot more matchups. You're probably going to be more disappointed. But you have, Cyberse Eldritch, Flunderies, all right? Hell, I've seen Tri-Brigade, new Blue Eyes. New freaking Blue Eyes. I didn't think I would see that one being successful, but Blue Eyes is doing well out here. You have, if you were still a Sword Soul player from back in the day, well, Robbie, you're assuming that people have these decks. And yeah, I kind of am. I am expecting players to have some sort of things. If you're trying to come into the game for Master Duel, you're going to experience an entire different level of problems here, because you're going to be massively overwhelmed by the adapting format. And my other thing that I want to be brutally honest with here is, this is just the first format shift of the year. Looking at you, branded structure deck, that second spin on the format here will be coming in mid-April. All right, you're going to see some crazy stuff once Branded comes into the TCG. I'm not just some old crazy guy over here spinning facts. The truth is, we've seen 6 months down the pipeline. We knew where these meta prediction shifts were going to come. Yeah, I couldn't predict Nading Droplet, but I can tell you what you need to buy in advance 5-6 months down the line. And for those of you that do pay attention to this channel, I've had a lot of people come up to me throughout the years and be like, hey, Robbie, I listened to you and I got rewarded for it. And the other sad thing is, I can't expect everybody to be ahead of the curve. That's just impossible. You can't make everybody happy out here. But the more I'm sitting out here, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is going to continue to be worth money. All right? Just because you have access to those cards doesn't make you a good player. All right? I hate to say that as well. It takes a lot of practice, and some people just don't want to put in the time to get better. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing either, but you get the rewards for really the amount of time and things that you spend on this game. So it all just kind of comes back to say that Yu-Gi-Oh! As a competitive game is expensive. Probably one of the most expensive ones out there. I mean, there are alternative games you can play, but that's just how life is, ladies and gentlemen. So, well, Konami should make card prices cheaper. I mean, Droplet does need another reprint to bring it down. Let's be honest, you're not going to see cheap Droplets till probably the 4th, 5th, 6th reprint. I would say even at the 4th reprint, you're probably going to be looking at like $40 to $50, to be honest with you guys. So that's my 2 cents for today. So better reprint availability would be great, but I mean, I'm just saying that Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitively is always going to be expensive. It's just, this just happens to be today's flavor of the month. So, guys, please leave a comment down. Tell me what you guys think. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.